All right, yo, what's going on today, guys? Good morning. So today, if you're an aspiring entrepreneur, I really want you to watch this video for people who are just trying to start out. I want to give you 5 high income skills right now that you should try to learn, okay? Or at least look into, find mentors in the space, because they're very high income skills that I've seen make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and they've also made me hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. So first things first is advertising, okay? You need to be able to understand what it takes to get somebody from interested to buyer, okay? What human nature, things can you exploit in a person or manipulate in a person to get them to be persuaded into buying something? And that leads me into copywriting. Number 2 is copywriting. You need to be able to persuade people with words, okay? Not just women on Tinder and Bumble, but also cold traffic when you're running ads, because ads is kind of like an art. You're making a certain creative, you're writing certain words to get people enticed, to get people's attention. Once you get their attention and enticement, then the landing page and where that copy is where you're able to sell, okay? And having good copy, having, a way for you to connect with your customer and not leave them so behind and not leave them so deserted, and walk them through this customer journey and get them excited to buy is a very, very hard skill. But it's also something that is, very lucrative. There's people who I know that are charging $5,000 for a landing page, $10,000 for a sales letter, $20,000 for a webinar script. There's a lot of people that I know in Copy Accelerator and other, big copywriting groups that are charging freaking tons of money for these kind of one-time jobs. That leads me to number 3, which is email marketing or just email copywriting, which is the same thing as number 2, but you're simply just putting it in short form and sending daily emails for companies. So being able to manage email lists, send daily emails, and basically just drive more organic revenue to businesses by simply tapping into their people who have already bought. It's kind of it's pretty easy, honestly, email marketing, just because the biggest trick is just being relatable and sending more emails. It's kind of it's a pretty easy niche to get into. And there's a lot of money in it just because there's a lot of companies who have email lists that don't, utilize them correctly, or don't have automations, or don't have abandoned cart sequences set up. A lot of things in email can make tons of money, and they can definitely justify a $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month retainer. If you have a big enough of a list and if the product's costly enough, you can churn tons of cash and you'll never get fired. Number 4 is being like a sales coach or a sales trainer. Okay, I say this because people really don't understand how to sell on the phone. People are not as good as they say they are on the phone. People really do struggle heavily with being able to sell on the phone because they get jitters, they don't know what to say, they don't know how to pivot the conversation, they're kind of lost. So being able to teach people how to sell on the phone is a skill that can make you a shit ton of money. I mean, I have a sales team, and those 2 guys make me close to 6 figures a month alone. So I know the value in being able to sell on the phone. I've done it myself. My biggest month ever in business, I almost sold $200,000 in 1 month, and most of it was almost on the phone. So being able to have that kind of skill set is definitely very underrated, because we think of just funnels and automations and selling things through a checkout the whole time. But little do we realize that we're going to make more money if we can sell on the phone, because that requires more of a high ticket approach. And then number 5 is definitely website building and branding. For companies that are already building tons of cash flow and either want to pivot their brand, or they just simply want to establish some type of congruency in their brand, logos, color schemes, a website, all that kind of stuff. That's a very good niche to get into, just because of the more high quality people you're gonna be working with. And branding and websites isn't really a data-driven result. It's more of hey, build a website, get this to our logo, make this the color scheme, and put it together. And most of those jobs are never really discriminated, just because there's not a lot of weekly data reporting and stuff like that. So those are the 5 best niches. Make sure you guys like the video down below. Let me know if you need help getting into one of these or how I can direct you in the best manner, and I'll talk to you soon.